if you feel down, how can you lift yourself up in the spirit?
Breathing is very important because breathing is the bridge between the mind and the body.
Okay.
Nature is very healing. Learn to take care of yourself, to listen to yourself, to hear yourself. Yeah. Pay attention to your dreams. Yeah. Write the dreams.
Successful people, outsiders, narcissists, and people with the disorders such as ADHD or autism, what do all these people have in common, and how do their approach differ fundamentally? How do these people perceive themselves and their environment? And what can we learn from them? That's what today's video is about. Whatever wants to leave the herd is always the most valuable. New things only come from the side, said Friedrich Nietzsche. Together with our today's guest, Donca Vianu, we are looking at this topic very closely and in a differentiated manner. Hello and a very warm welcome to the Alentejo-Holidays channel. My name is Moritz Engelhardt. Join us on our journeys to the mysteries of success. We really like to offer you authentic added value so that we can all make this beautiful world a little bit better. And now I'm looking forward to welcome today's guest, Donca Vianu, after the intro. Is good. Donca, for those who don't know you, you are a psychiatrist and psychotherapist with 40 years work experience spread over different countries and cultures. You experienced totalitarian Romania during the communist era and Ceausescu's dictatorship, post-war Nazi Western Germany, progressive liberal Dutch democracy, India's spiritual tradition, Southern Europe, Portugal, and by serendipity, Brazil. As a psychiatrist, you worked in psychiatric clinics and institutes for mental health care while sustaining your own private practice. As a psychotherapist, you are trained in Rogerian and Gestalt psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, EMDR, transcultural psychiatry, and cognitive behavioral psychotherapy. Beside of this, you are an expert for hypnotherapy with regression to previous lives, Sacred Feminine by Paul Solomon, shamanism, Buddhist psychology, just to name a few. So welcome, Donca Vianu, on our show today.
Thank you. It's Donca.
Donca, sorry for that.
Yes, no, it's okay.
So let's start with the first question.
Yes.
How would you define success from a psychological and psychiatric point of view? And what is the best way to get a successful life in your opinion?
Okay, from a psychiatric point of view, let's say someone has a psychiatric illness.
Yes.
Yeah? Let's say someone has schizophrenia.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's serious, yeah.
Yes, it's a psychiatric illness. So there is a spectrum from being completely incapacitated,
yes,
being a chronic psychiatric patient in an institution,
yes,
to be acceptable, functional, and having a good life. Yeah, which you cannot alone.
Okay.
So you need medication, and you need a lot of programs.
Okay.
In which I worked in Netherlands. Yeah. So you have assisted living. You have occupational therapy, art therapy. You can even do some work and earn money.
Yes.
And all together makes that you have a quite almost a normal life. Yeah, as opposed to be a chronic psychiatric patient in some asylum.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You live in a very small group, and you have all kind of occupation. You even can earn your money. So this, I would say, is a success. Yeah.
And are there some kind of special gifts people have with the, because we had also some psychiatric young children here with us, and we realized that they have a total different perception of reality. Yes.
Everybody has also talents.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course also these people. So sometimes what you see in the art therapy is amazing. And sometimes they can do for hours very precise things in assembling. Yeah, they can write, and then indeed their worldview does not align completely with a consensus reality. Yeah, so they come with very surprising imagery.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Definitely, yes. But for all this is the best if they are not chronic psychiatric patients in an asylum somewhere far away. Yeah? If they are a bit integrated
in the society.
in the society.
Yes.
And then if they are more balanced, they don't have all the time hallucinations and delusions, yeah, then they can contribute with something which is sometimes not very rare, yeah.
Yes.
Because yes, they are talented, they have
Yes.
their talents, they have their interests, and it can be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. And from a psychological point of view, what's the opinion of a successful life?
Of a successful life. It depends how you define success. So it can be subjective. Yeah, someone, let's say, is a anonymous person,
Yes.
but has a very fulfilling life, a life which gives a lot of satisfaction. For example, does a lot of community work, helps people. This can give a lot of satisfaction without being someone famous or
Yes, of course,
yeah.
of course.
So I would say this is a successful life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Or yeah, a mother who was her whole life only mother,
Yes.
but adult children have very good lives, they have good marriages and
Yes.
so on. Yeah, I would say she has as a mother, she is successful.
Yes.
And this gives also a lot of satisfaction.
Yes, yes.
Okay, then there is the success which is recognized by society. Yeah.
Yes, but that's, for me, it's another part, because for me success means to get things into a harmonious kind of function. It can be a family,
yes.
it can be
Yes.
art.
Yes.
And if you decide to make a lot of money, of course, that can be also success, but success can be also something completely different.
Exactly, because many people who are famous artists, famous writers, they are very unhappy.
Yes.
Yeah, and they have one divorce after the other,
Yes,
and
yes.
and so on. Yeah,
They have a gift,
so,
but they might not be successful. Yes.
yeah, they may be unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so what I said depends how you define success.
Yes.
So you can be famous, you can have a lot of money, become very rich. Yeah,
Yes.
in America, it's all measured according to how much money you make and so on. So then you are very successful in the eyes of the world.
Yes.
But for yourself, you can feel miserable.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, depends how you define it.
Yes.
And the most nourishing is the subjective.
Yes,
Yeah.
to me too. Yes,
Yeah.
to me
So
too.
subjective feeling of, yeah, my life is meaningful.
Yes.
And I realized, and I realized what I have in me. Yeah.
Yes.
I expressed it. I manifested it.
Yes,
Yeah.
manifested it.
Yeah.
That's a point of view, in my
Yes.
opinion, too.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Second question would be, in our society, there's currently a lot of discussion about deviant behavior and the various disorders. How is the self and the external perception of people, let's say with ADHD or with autism, for instance, or with a narcissistic behavior, how do they feel about themselves? So what's the difference about, so to speak, normal person, or so many people these days talk about Donald Trump. How does he see the world with his eyes? What's the difference?
I don't know how Donald Trump sees the world.
Or people who is behaving
yeah.
like him, maybe.
And I have to say that I'm not specialized in ADHD,
Yes.
and also not in autism. I am specialized in adults.
Uh-huh.
So there are, between narcissistic personality disorder and autism and ADHD, are fundamental differences.
Yes, of course, yes.
Because narcissistic is a personality disorder, and so it is psychological. Yeah, and it is diagnosed much later in life, not before 18 years old, while autism and ADHD are neurodevelopmental disorders. Yeah, so they are very early. They can be even, they come from the time in the womb. If the mother consumed some things which are toxic for the embryo, or during birth something went wrong, or shortly after birth, lack of oxygen during birth, and so on. Many things can happen, yeah, and this leads to problems in the development of the brain. Yeah, so the brain does not develop normally, and in different ways. So connectivity or neurotransmitters, things like that. Yeah, and the diagnosis can be, for autism, it is early, 1 year, 1.5 year. Already you can make the diagnosis. And for ADHD, when the child goes to school, this is the most often situation when it is diagnosed. Okay, how do they see the world? This is a question. Huh?
Yes, how do they see the world, and how do they see themselves within the world?
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, it depends on many factors. Yeah. To start with, it is a spectrum for all three of them. You can have a narcissistic personality disorder, which is very mild, to a malignant one.
Okay.
Malignant. So then it borders psychopathy, sociopathy, and this can be criminals. Yeah. How they perceive themselves, grandiose.
Yes.
Yeah, grandiose. They feel entitled, and they think they think that they are the biggest gift to mankind. Yeah.
But is there not also, I think about this a lot, and is there not also a lack of self, what's the
Self-reflection.
not self-reflection, or that if you always have to prove yourself that you are the king in your castle, or that you are the best guy in the world, for me this shows that there's a lack of self-confidence. Hidden.
Yeah, it is very possible. Not always, but yes, it can be an overcompensation. Yeah, and so, for example, the factors which lead to such a disorder are usually complex, but the parental style is important. So, if the parents adore the child, and spoil the child and treat the child as something, you are exceptional, you are very special, of course the child grows up with this conviction, and then there is not much self-doubt. But it can be an overcompensation for a parental style in which the child is all the time put down, all the time criticized, and then it is this grandiosity is to compensate a feeling of inferiority, actually, of a big insecurity, and so you can have different dynamics
within the narcissistic personalities, yes.
And the different, they can be somewhere in the spectrum, but all have a inflated image of themselves, in the direction of grandiosity and of entitlement, lack of empathy, very self-centered, everything revolves around them. They are extremely difficult in relationships, and especially in intimate relationships, but also at work.
To have someone with a narcissistic disorder as a boss can be horrible.
Very challenging, because they don't bear criticism, and if they fail, some are very successful because they are smart. It has nothing to do with intelligence. And many are charismatic. And because they are so driven, they are often successful.
So what is the force that drives those people with a narcissistic disorder to reach out for success or reach out for fame? Success is not...
Fame. Exactly this. They want to be admired. They want to be in the center of attention. They want all the time to be acknowledged as someone special. And this is a very strong drive.
So they can walk over their own doubts and fears?
Yes. Not all of them have doubts and fears.
That would be my next question. Do they have any doubts and fears?
Again, depends if it is an overcompensation for having been perhaps traumatized, put down a lot, neglected. And they have to prove themselves, not only to the world, but also to themselves. And underneath, deep. So then they move all the time between two poles of feeling inferior and feeling superior. What they don't manage is to be equal, to look like this. They either look down or they look up. And if they look up, the person they look up, they put on a pedestal, boom, with the first occasion, they demolish it. And they cannot bear criticism. So the moment they are criticized or they have the impression they did not do so well, then they move to the other pole of feeling inferior and feeling that they failed and that they are worthless. They can really move completely to the other pole. And then they have to mobilize everything and again to come up. And all the time they move between these two poles. But not all of them. Some are really in their grandiose self.
So do they have then, if they are in their grandiose self, do they have any doubts and fears, or how do they deal with this successful or
the others are to be blamed, not themselves. No. And it come if they move towards malignant narcissism, the narcissistic anger, rage it's something really to take serious
Okay.
because they are capable of violence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
if they perceive that it's because of this person, they can be very revengeful.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So, and what's about autistic people? So, I think how I experience them, they have a different kind of perception of the world, and how do they see themselves, and how do they deal with their fears and doubts and struggles?
I think they are much more aware than narcissistic are. Some are aware, some not, but they are aware of their struggles. Yeah, and they are. So again, it's a spectrum. Yeah,
Yeah, like always.
from people who need care 7/24. Yeah, all the time they need care because they are really very sick. To quite functional. Yeah,
Yes.
and the earlier it is identified, it is diagnosed, and it is treated, the better. So treat it with especially learning social skills and learning social cues to interpret them, to understand them, body language, to interact. By and large, they are people, let's say, middle of the spectrum, yeah,
Yes.
who are quite caring, and they are not self-centered. Like the narcissists, they are not so obsessed with themselves, but they are aware that they lack certain skills, and this can make, of course, very insecure.
Okay. And
Yeah.
are they also like the Asperger autism? They have kind of special gifts often. Are they aware of their special gifts too?
They have to be discovered. Yeah, they they have difficulties with social interaction, with being in groups and so on. But if they are stimulated, if their talents, because they are very, very good in everything which demands precision.
Yes.
Memory, precision, to be meticulous.
Yes.
Yeah, and they can become even very good in certain professions.
Yes.
If it's not this part of the spectrum. Yeah. So a lot of improvement can be achieved, and they can even have a relatively normal life with a job, with a partner, even with, yeah, they can recuperate a lot of the deficit.
Yeah.
And there are also the sevens, yeah, who I don't know all the trains who circulate in Europe, exactly what times and the names of the trains, and they know whole encyclopedias, and they know
Yes.
the phone book and so on. Yeah, so these are, yeah, amazing achievements which belong to them. Yeah. So how they perceive themselves is very different from depends on how they are perceived by the people around them, close circle,
Yeah.
and society at large. Yeah, because if they are rejected, if they are put down, if they feel they don't belong anywhere, if they are uh, uh, put in situations which are difficult for them, like a lot of they are easily overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are easily overwhelmed if there are too many sensory
Yes.
stimulants.
Yes.
And then they break down, and this makes them feel very bad that they failed and so on. So the more they learn how to stay away from situations with which they cannot cope,
Yes.
and choose for situations in which they feel comfortable, the more self-assured they become. Yeah, and the more aware of what they can and of their talent, in what they excel. Yeah, so depends a lot on the environment.
If it's a protective environment or...
Yes, protective, understanding, stimulating, acknowledging, then they can flourish.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah. Oh, that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And people with diagnosis of ADHD?
The profile is very different from the autistic, very different. And then you have ADHD with difficulties in attention, and you have who are hyperactive, and then you have a combination of these two. And again, the more this is recognized when they are young, and they get coaching, they get therapy to learn how to navigate their problems, their deficits, the better. And they can be very empathic.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
very empathic and caring, and the lack of attention, for example, to follow a complex conversation or to learn, it's not because they are self-centered, it is because they have really a problem with attention. And so they are very different from narcissistic and from autism. They can be socially very skilled, yeah, because they are so empathic and they can communicate with very different type of people, yeah. So there are professions in which they are very good at.
Yes.
Sales and marketing and everything which allows them to be on the move.
On the move,
yeah.
yes.
So yes, they and then they have a good feeling about themselves. Yeah, if they make very good sales or
Whatever,
yeah,
yeah.
well, they are not. They have to learn certain skills. Yeah, like executive functions, time management, and organizing, prioritizing. So once they get this, they can be very successful. Yeah.
Yeah, I experienced this too. I know a few people with ADHD, and some of them I had the feeling they failed completely in school because it was not possible to sit on a chair for them. So they're always in trouble, and of course they were really down because of all this trouble. And as soon as they left school, they found another way to learn things,
Right. Yes.
and they become really successful. Wow.
Yes, they are. All of them can be very smart.
Yes.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with intelligence.
No, nothing at all.
And they are very creative. The people with this attention problems, they are usually very creative. They can think out of the box.
Yes.
They find solutions. Yeah.
That's maybe why they are so successful. Huh?
Yes. They have a set of skills in which they excel. Yeah.
So that brings me to the next question. And for all of us, I think most people have had the experience of wanting to change something in their life. But many of us have the experience to getting entangled in same patterns and behaviors, and it's really hard to overcome our self-doubts and fears. Have you something for our audience that give us a hint how we can improve ourselves in that way?
Yeah, everybody can improve. Yeah. And we are creatures of habit, and it's very difficult to change habits. We are in this regard like doggies, they know that the food is here, and if you put it here, they are disoriented. So to change habits is very difficult. First thing is that to know what do you want to change. Yeah, what and what is a purpose, what is a reason, and then to be patient with yourself, and to do small steps. And there are a lot of reports about people who achieved amazing results just by persevere. Yeah, persevere. For example, I remember someone who was physically had as a child a lot of problems and so on, was physically weak, and with a lot of perseverance and coaching,
Yes.
became a great alpinist. Yeah, and became strong physically and really climbing. I don't remember the names of the
Yeah,
peaks of
but
the mountains,
yeah.
but climbing high mountains. And so when he looked back, it was, he almost could not believe it, but he did it.
He did it because maybe he had nothing to lose. Yeah, for there's all from the bottom is only up. Huh?
It's will. It requires, first you have to know what do you want to, what do you need to change. Yeah, what do you need to change in order to compensate certain weaknesses, or because
yeah,
you are
okay.
stuck. You are
Yeah.
stuck, or yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe that's
Yeah. What do you want to change, and then have a kind of compass. Yeah. So I want to move in this direction, and then to be patient and to persevere,
Okay.
which is not easy.
Nothing is easy.
No.
Okay. You also deal with past life regressions. What can you tell our viewers about the journeys, the soul, and after the complex insights you have gained into our existence? What is the meaning of life for you?
For me.
Yes, for
Okay,
you.
because
From your point, yeah, of course.
okay, I cannot say it generally. The meaning of life. So yes, it is true. I do past life regret. I do it very seldom, because I think that whatever we need to solve, we experience in this life.
Yes.
Yeah. Yet sometimes I have a feeling, no, you have brought this from another life. It's not only from this life.
Yes.
Yeah. It does not happen often. So it's not that all the time I think people should go to previous lives and so on. And what I learned and what I experience with my clients and also with myself is that indeed we are not here one time.
Yeah, I'm absolutely convinced about this too.
We are not here one time, and if there are exceptional people, for the better and the worse, they don't manifest this only from one time. Yeah. So the soul has a journey.
Yes.
And you ask for me what is for me. The meaning of life is to evolve spiritually.
To evolve spiritually,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. But this is for me. Yeah. People have come in this life with different goals, which the soul needs. Yeah. To explore, to learn, to accomplish. And it is a mix of what we have to give, and what we have to learn. And for me, it is spiritual growth. It is actually, and in this I follow Buddha's teaching. Yeah, it is liberation from the wheel of life and death. And I think it requires many lives.
Yes.
And it demands study. I think in order to be successful, talking about success, it's very needed to have a coherent cognitive framework. So to study spiritual traditions, or one tradition.
It's kind of this discipline. You need to have discipline and
and
focus.
the drive.
The drive, yes.
You need a drive, and then you have to have a passion. Yeah, a passion for it, to understand it, to learn about it, and to have a coherent worldview from this point, from this angle. And then you need a practice.
Don't you think it's for? I experience more as a call. I cannot ignore this call, this passion.
Right.
I think from a
Yes.
certain stage, if you stepped a few steps further, then there's no way back anymore. That's how I
Right,
experience.
and especially if you start to have experiences, they carry you also. Yeah, and this becomes your life. So this is for me, my life stays in this sign of spiritual progress.
Spiritual growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice answer. Yeah. Okay, the next question would be, there is a German astrologer I really like. Maybe you don't know him. It's Christoph Niederwieser. You heard of him?
No.
He's
Christoph,
proclaimed.
what's his name?
Christoph Niederwieser
No.
is a Bavarian guy. Yeah, he did amazing work.
Oh, yeah?
I show you later. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
if you
okay.
like. If
Yes,
you like.
yes,
yeah.
of course, yes.
The German astrologer Christoph Niederwieser proclaimed the change from the Earth Age to the Age of Air in 2020 with the beginning of Corona. Since the beginning of November this year, when Pluto finally entered Aquarius, global changes have picked up speed again. Christoph Niederwieser also says that in the Air Age, in addition to all the technological achievements that can come to us from the power of the spirit, the air element is assigned to the spiritual principle. Depression and other illnesses that affect the spirits will increase. So what can you tell our audience? How do you deal, or how can they deal with depressive moods or other things if you don't feel so good, if you feel down? How can you lift yourself up in the spirit? Do you have any hints for our audience?
My God, this is my profession, you know.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
This is my bread and butter. Yeah, again, it depends, you know. Do you have a Blue Monday day? Yeah. Or are you really depressed? Or are you clinically depressed? Because people call depression many things, you know. I have a bad day, I'm depressed. Or it's so bad that they need to be hospitalized. So it depends. It depends on how severe it is, how long it is there, for how long time, has it been before, and yeah, it depends on so many factors. Okay, but to give some general recommendations, yeah, breathing. Breathing is very important.
With awareness, breathing and
Breathing, yes,
Yeah.
yes, breathing, because breathing is the bridge between the mind and the body,
Okay.
and it regulates the nervous system. Yeah. So I recommend. So when someone comes to me, yeah, even before we start to explore all the background and the life history and so on and so on, there are a couple of things till we make a plan which is individual and very specific. I recommend breathing, a couple of conscious breathing for 10 minutes, at least 10-15 minutes, a couple of times a day. And I teach how to breathe. So it has to be a deep,
In the belly?
calm,
or
as deep as possible, smooth, calm,
the focus centered, or what?
with awareness. So if you notice that, and this is what the mind produces thoughts. Yeah. So the moment you notice that there are thoughts, you go back to the breathing. This is the anchor. And what is very important is to breathe out completely. So the breathing in is automatic. Breathing out, to really breathe out, to eliminate all the air, and in this way, and to count. So to count, because this helps to deepen the breathing out. Yeah.
So you count your breath, or
Yeah.
you count the seconds?
No, you count the breath. You count like this.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and try to do it smooth. I recommend to be in nature. Nature is very healing and nourishing. So I recommend, please go for walks, please be in nature. I recommend to live more with the body. Feel what you need, but in the moment. Yeah, and there can be very simple things. Do I want a coffee or do I want a tea? Do I want only a short shower or do I want to be in the bath tube? Do I want to see this friend or no? It is better if I stay home and I listen to some music. Yeah, to follow, to have contact with what is inside, and to follow it, to follow what the mind-body system needs at this moment as consolation or soothing or calming. Yeah. So learn to take care of yourself. Learn to take care of yourself, to listen to yourself, to hear yourself. Yeah. What do you need at moment for moment? Yeah.
So it stay in the moment. And
Yes, to be in the present. And so also, if someone is really for a while in not stable and so on, shut yourself off from the misery in the world. Reduce the news, or even for nothing will happen. The world continues. Yeah. Also without you seeing all the news and so on. Just nature. Sometimes I say read fairy tales. Go swimming. Yeah, nature, but go swimming. Water. Yeah, water is cleaning, is calming, is soothing. Avoid too much noisy places with alcohol and with a lot of excitement. Try to calm down, because pay attention to your dreams. Yeah, write the dreams. You can heal by listening to yourself the deep. Yeah. So these are general recommendations how to feel better.
Yeah, really interesting. So I really hope that you can all pick up a little bit from this great advice. Donca, if someone wants to reach out to you, how can they get in touch with you, and what exactly do you offer?
It's very simple to get in touch with me. I have a website and I have a YouTube channel under my name, and my email address is very easy. It's also my name, Gmail.
Okay, so we'll link everything in the description down below. And
yeah.
Are you also welcoming personal visitors, or is it everything?
I work only online.
Okay.
I discovered that this is possible due to COVID, to the lockdown.
Yeah, it changed a lot.
Yes. For me, it was a gift. Yeah. And I have people from all over the world. Really, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And in the morning, I see people in Europe. In the late afternoon, people in the States. But I have also right now someone in Japan.
Wow.
And I had people from Saudi Arabia. I could not believe it when I read I'm from Saudi Arabia. And it's like it's really international,
Mhm.
and I enjoy it a lot. I
Yeah.
find it so interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing to be in
Yeah,
touch
it's
with people.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing to
Yeah.
sit in my house, in my home, and to speak to someone in San Francisco, and then
Yeah.
in Tokyo, and then in some small village in Switzerland, and like that.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you
a
for
great honor
having
to have
me.
you here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to know you.
And
Yeah.
yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.